Hello, my name's Arthur Champion and I work for the Diocese of Gloucester on environmental activities. I'd like to just introduce you to the Eco Church Award Scheme, which has become very important in helping churches to play an active part. One of the inspiring statements I find is from the 1970s and Friends of the Earth: think globally, act locally. To take an obvious example, we all know that digging up fossil fuels causes terrible pollution of land, sea and air. So our society urgently needs to switch across to cleaner energy sources such as wind, solar, tidal, geothermal and hydroelectric. The Bible provides inspiration when caring for creation, as you can see from this short clip. Caring for creation is there right from the book of Genesis through to Revelation. The passage which speaks most to me is God so loved the world that he gave his only son. And notice the phrase God so loved the world, which we so often overlook. We think it's all about saving souls, and that's important, but we are invited by the Holy Spirit to care for creation as a whole. And here at Elkstone we have people who are committed to doing just that, and I believe in every church God has a green person, if you like.
The wild area, we thought it was waste of fuel and time and money, cutting it every year, and so we've enhanced it. We had it scarified first so that the seed would get down. 93% of all English meadows have been ripped up or spoiled one way or another, so every little tiny corner actually improves God's creation here.
The Diocese of Gloucester has taken on board the Eco Diocese scheme thanks to Bishop Rachel, and we're working towards becoming fully accredited by December this year. The Eco Church scheme within the Eco Diocese scheme consists of 5 sections. The first one is to do with worship and teaching. Most churches, all churches really, celebrate harvest, so that's an important aspect of worship, and there's some excellent resources out there for teaching, midweek meetings, for example, Tenets of the King. The next major area is buildings. Here's an example, number 5. The electricity supplied to our church buildings is generated from renewable sources or charged according to our supplier's green tariff. And it may interest you to know that here in the Diocese of Gloucester we have the first zero carbon church in the UK. That's at St Michael and All Angels in Withington. And just a couple of years ago, Gloucester Cathedral became the first historic cathedral in the world to have solar panels fitted on the roof. So those are 2 big developments. If we move on to the third section, which is land, you might think of churchyards, for example. Then several of the churches are linking up with the schools to encourage turning the churchyards into wildlife havens. And here's an example from the parish church and the school at Cobberley. To help this along, the staff in the diocese have donated into a scheme so that we're able to give up to £250 grants. The fourth area is to do with community and global engagement. Here's an example of one of 15 or so questions. Our church arranges for local environmentalists to speak in our services. And here's an example from Elkstone Church in the Cotswolds, where we have a rather nice eco-loo, and that's been twinned with a bit of a shack somewhere in Nepal. Talking of community engagement, here's a group of Christians outside the big incinerator that's just being built at Javelin Park. We weren't lying down in the road or protesting in that way, but we were having a prayer vigil, which could be just as effective, if not more so. The fifth area is to do with lifestyle and really the extent to which the local church is encouraging people to take on board more sustainable ways of living. And here's question 14, for example. Most people have signed up, I believe, to Gloucestershire Wildlife Trust, but perhaps a more challenging area under normal conditions when we haven't got the COVID-19 pandemic is the extent to which people have cut back on flying for holiday and business. And just to give you a final slide here of the work that's going on in the Gloucester Diocese, we've got 380 parish churches. We need 5% of them to gain an award, and in the last 12 months we've gone from only 4 having an award to 11. So we've got a little bit of work to do before the end of the year. We often behave in the capitalist society as though the economy can float along above all the problems that we're creating around the world, but really it's the other way around, that the economy is a wholly owned subsidiary of the environment. If we don't look after the environment, we haven't got anywhere to live. We haven't got any food to eat. The living conditions for our kids and our grandkids are just going to get worse and worse. So it's a huge challenge to us as Christians to take this seriously and start caring for creation.